From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news about your financial markets from Wall Street to Main Street, going over crypto coins, your stocks, your bonds, and of course, your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. A fourth stimulus check has landed in every U.S. state in this reporting. We're going to go over that incredible check. Then we're going to go over the details that unravel this week from the Federal Reserve and the economy that impacts future checks, including that Build Back Better Act and that SS300. A fourth stimulus check is now in every U.S. state. I want to go over these incredible details in this recording, live on air from Santa Monica, California. But first, become a member. Go to the top of the chat and become a member. Purple Hawk, Turtle Power, or Casino VIP. Get the incredible newsletter. The newsletter that all Americans are talking about that features those incredible fourth stimulus checks for you to get, and viewers have got to them. Later in this video, I'll be jumping in a live chat with you and interacting with you and answering some of your incredible, sophisticated questions about these fourth stimulus checks. The Build Back Better Act is likely to get done in the next few weeks. That would give you additional checks, and we'll cover that in this recording. Then we'll be covering SS300, the push to swap that COLA for inflation. Next up, student loan debt forgiveness, also covered later in this video. And then the exciting details of sixth stimulus. A lot of money and a lot of details to cover. Stay to the very end, because later in this video we'll go over those incredible fourth stimulus checks that are in every U.S. state. And we'll go over how you get it, because you can get it if you make less than $75,000. If you make less than $150,000, married couple, it's for you. Those incredible checks, detailed in extensive research, and only on this channel in that incredible final minutes of the video, so stay to the very end. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and the coffee is brewing. And more checks could be landing as well. But we're going to start by getting these big checks today. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, don't forget to become a member. Get ready to get those checks. Stay later in this video. It's coming up. And with that, let's start a beautiful weekend. Let's start a beautiful week with fourth stimulus checks now in every U.S. state. The details start right now as Mornings LA gets underway from Santa Monica, California, this big, bold, beautiful day. And good morning, everybody. Beautiful day. You have found LA, America's most watched show for financial news in prime time. Our Evenings LA show comes up tonight at 5 o'clock. That is why we're number one in the United States, because we go into the incredible research you're not going to see anywhere else. And we deliver this to you as a member in an incredible newsletter. No news organization in America does it all. It's an incredible newsletter that is a sophisticated delivery of all the incredible money available for you, and it comes up in the later part of this video, plus those incredible checks. But let's start where we start today, as we go into a new week with the financial markets definitely at ease. What's going on? It all started with the announcement from the Federal Reserve of Jay Powell less than 2 weeks ago, when he announced a half basis point increase at the FOMC meeting of the Federal Reserve. This was predicted. In fact, he told us it was going to happen a month earlier. So why did world markets implode? Why did stocks, bonds, crypto go down dramatically? Why did everyone start talking about recession, stagflation, and also other things like continued inflationary pressures? Because now they're finally watching this channel. Now they have finally become a Purple Power, Purple Hawk, or Casino VIP like you and I. Because I've been predicting this for several months. What's going on here? What's going on is that the world's economies are starting to erode, and the U.S. economy is going into recession in 2 years, starting next January. I told you that 3 months ago. And while I was the only one really talking about recession back in February this year, now everyone else is talking about today. Why is this important for you? Because a forced stimulus check is now in every U.S. state. We can go over how to get that later in this video. Stay with me. And that other forced stimulus checks are proposed additionally in the Build Back Better Act. And SS 300 is lined up as part of the presidential's platform to swap your COLA for benefits. But what's important to know, and that's what I do on this channel, is I give you the breaking news, the financial news, the predictions of the financial markets, and also get you the money. And that's why it's important to know where we're going. Not to scare you on a beautiful, beautiful morning today with everything so perfect except the bacon missing. I need to scare you. Well, let me tell you, we're going to recession for 2 years starting next year. And the economic data that came out this week, not good. Why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Because I need you to get these forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. When I have money for you, I don't want you to doubt it. I don't want you to question it. I want you to grab it. It's on the table because it's going to be gone. We go into the weekend with Brent crude down up 382 to 111. That's the price of gasoline internationally. The Dow Jones was up 215 on Friday, generally up 1%. NASDAQ up 319, 3%. And the 10-year Treasury note at 2924, a little bit pulling back. Bitcoin was up 3% on Friday, up to 29,500. Ethereum up 3% to 2,000. And Decentraland up 34% to $1. But this was not a good week. No, it was not. We ended the week down for stocks, down for bonds. Down for stocks, down for crypto. Bonds slightly up. Oil dramatically up this last week. And the price of gasoline at the pump, nationwide average, according to AAA, was up again. Why is this important for you? Because what's important at issue is that the economic data that came out this week, not good. And what did we see this week? Well, we saw a lot with the CPI, the PPI, the unemployment numbers, and also Jay Powell. You're a new protagonist on this channel. You know, we had the Temple of Doom 2020, Nancy Pelosi, and the Temple of Doom 2022, his name is Jay Powell. As Bob Bacon last night says, does he know how to tie his own shoelaces? And answered, someone tie his shoelaces together. I think he's already tripping on himself, and so I think we're covered. Jay Powell, everyone now believes, is tripping on himself. Why? He's gotten it wrong, and he consistently gets it wrong, and then he continually repeats what's wrong. Last year, yours truly, in spring of last year, said that inflation was going to be 8% in December of 2021. Jay Powell said, no, it wasn't. Isn't going to be. He said 2 to 3% and temporary. And he used a really fancy word, transitory, like he didn't know what that meant. I translated for you. Temporary, transitory. Well, he was wrong. It wasn't 2%. It was 8%. I said it was going to be sustained. He said it was going to come down. It didn't come down. 8% January, March, February. And then what happened in March and April? I said it was going to go even higher. He said, I'm going to do a quarter basis point raise in the month of April, and it's going to get inflation down. Did it get down? No, of course not. When he said he was going to do a half basis point this month, did it get down? No, it did not. Have you seen the price of gasoline go down? No. Have you seen the price of eggs go down? No. Have you seen the price of bread go down? No. Jay Powell go knock on his door. Say, it didn't work, Jay. So what did Jay Powell say? In less than 24 hours ago, we're getting it down to 2% by the end of this year. Yeah, and the B-52s are running for president. Love Shack. No, it's called the White House. I don't know where that came from. The Federal Reserve and you and I and Congress with the Build Back Better Act all saw this economic data this week, and it was horrible. The PPI, the Producer Price Index, that tracks how much manufacturers get for their products, was up month to date when comparing March to April. Wait a second, we're supposed to be going down, Jay Powell, aren't we? No, we're going up. Sort of like Nancy's hairstyle. Went up a half basis point and 11% year to date. When excluding food, energy, and trade services, core PPI went up 0.6% in April. And 6.9% for year to date. And that was a slight decline from 7.1% last month. It's basically the same number. If it's 6.9 to 7.1, it's the same number. When we look at the consumer price index number, the CPI doesn't stand for Crayola Price Index. It's the Consumer Price Index. It was released the day before on Wednesday. And it showed that we rose 8.3% year to date and that we came in a little bit hotter, almost consistent for the month of March. Unemployment. Boy, Jay, are you watching me? Jay Powell, are you watching me? Because guess what? over this last year. When it comes to unemployment, this is the only number that's ever good. And this is the only number that the White House and Jay Powell says, hey, we're doing really good things. Look at the great unemployment numbers. Well, look at the really bad unemployment numbers that came in on Thursday. On Thursday, the new jobless claims, these are people newly unemployed the week before, was 203,000. Boy, does that number look familiar? It should. That was the number of new unemployment claims when we started week 1 of the pandemic. We shot up to 1 million thereafter. This is not a good number, folks. We should not be at 203. We should be somewhere in the 188, 170s. We're coming out of the pandemic, but let me, parenthesis, Anthony Fauci minutes ago said, actually, get ready. We may be going back into the pandemic. There's lots of hot spots in the United States now from that subvariant of Omicron. But this unemployment number is horrible. It's horrible. Let's look at gas and food. Gas fell 3.2% in the month of April, because remember that was that month after Putin invaded. But gasoline, but price of foods rose 1.5% and 1.7%. So here comes Jay Powell. Did you watch any good sitcoms last night? Did you? Did you watch any good sitcoms? You didn't? Okay, I got one for you right now. His name is Jay Powell. He has a one-man comedy live show at the Hollywood Bowl tonight. He's going to be talking about how he's getting down inflation to 2.1% later this year. That's hysterical, Jay. Where do you get these jokes from? He says that we have a toolbox that works. I didn't see you on Home Improvement. I didn't. Were you the tool guy? Were you the tool guy on Home Improvement? What's going on? Jay Powell says, so a soft landing is really just getting back to 2% inflation, which we're going to do while keeping the labor market strong. Yeah, that's a great joke. I love it. Did he see it with a straight face? Not viable. And quite frankly, we're challenging. It's challenging right now for a couple of reasons. It's challenging because it's not going to happen. Don't you love when people say that? You know, I'm hoping to become a billionaire by lunchtime, but it's challenging for many reasons. One, because lunchtime is 90 minutes from now. It's just these quotes from Jay Powell. Our goal, of course, is to get inflation back to 2% without having the economy go into recession. That's your goal. Doesn't mean you're going to do it. In fact, you are going to send us into recession. Or put it that way, with the labor market remaining fairly strong. Oh boy, I didn't realize that quote until I read it just again now. He thinks he's getting inflation down to 2% later this year without bringing us into recession and without disrupting the labor market. We just saw the unemployment numbers. Jay, you're already disrupting the labor numbers, and guess what? You're saying it's also a recession. I think that's overdue. I think we should sort of give up at the Federal Reserve at this point. That's why we're trying to achieve. The one thing we cannot really do is fail to restore price stability, though. And nothing in this economy works if we don't have price stability. So Jay Powell thinks, as head of the Federal Reserve, he can restore price stability of gasoline that's determined by a bunch of people at OPEC overseas. That he can restore price stability for gasoline that's determined by Vladimir Putin and what he's doing with Ukraine. That he can determine price stability according to what's happening in China based upon China's lockdown policies. Jay Powell really thinks he has a lot of influence over Vladimir Putin and China and its lockdown policies. It's ridiculous. Jay Powell, do you have control over the hiring decisions on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? What else do you have control over, Jay Powell? You have trade authority for the Texas Rangers. You can determine who is calling the opening kick for Manchester United tomorrow. What else do you have control over, Jay Powell? He has no control over these things. I mean, these quotes are getting ridiculous, and he says it with a straight face. And the more I read them, the more ridiculous they seem. And I think viewers in the live chat last night, if I saw them right, they really said, "What's with this guy? This is sort of ridiculous." I think the last time we saw something ridiculous was the last time we had a Temple of Doom, and it was her. Remember when the last time we saw ridiculous with Temple of Doom, 2020? She had an offer of an FPUC of $600 a week. No, $400 a week. And she said, no, I want $600 a week. She turned it down and no one got anything. That was ridiculous. And then when she said states are going bankrupt, Tell Gavin Newsom that. He announced another budget surplus last night because he never was going bankrupt. Of course, Nancy Pelosi would have known that when she said that in 2020. He never went bankrupt. So, Jay Powell, his comments are wacko. I mean, they're just wacko. They are out of touch. And guess why Wall Street's down? Because they think the same thing as well. Wall Street really believes that Jay Powell has really lost his marbles. They think that they now understand what I've been saying for a while, or they're now viewers and subscribers to this channel. They understand that Jay Powell does not have the tools in his toolbox to fix inflation. He's going to raise your interest rates. By raising interest rates, what is he going to give you? Higher credit card debts, higher flexible mortgage rates, higher 10-year treasury notes, higher anything you pay on credit, more expensive. And what's he going to do? Is he going to fix inflation? No, he's not going to fix inflation. He's not going to fix inflation. And that is why the stocks were down dramatically last week, the week before. We're in a bear market. Stocks are now trading at their 52-week low. And I got to tell you, a recession's on the horizon. Crypto is taking a bath. Yeah, it did go up a little bit on Friday, but when we talk about Bitcoin at 29,000, get ready for Bitcoin at 27,000. Ethereum at 1,700, get ready for Ethereum at 1,700. Decentraland up 34% at $1, get ready for it going to 70 cents. And Brent crude at 382 up to 111. I don't want to scare you, but I got to tell you the news. Brent crude is going to 120. It's going to 120. It's 111 right now. Why? Because China's coming off of the lockdown. Breaking news this weekend is that we now know that China is coming off of that lockdown. And by coming off that lockdown, the price of gasoline is going to go up even higher. Build Back Better Act, what does that mean for them? They're going to use this ammunition of this really bad economic data to pass Build Back Better. Good news, great news. They want to get it done by Memorial Day weekend. Even better news. They want to do this push right across the board. Because remember, when the federal government spends money, it doesn't cause inflation. When the federal government spends money, it doesn't cause recession. When the federal government gives you money, it helps prevent a recession. Because you got money to spend and you spend at the businesses, and the businesses do not contract. They don't get smaller. The businesses grow. Remember what happened in January 2020? Everyone went to Walmart with their first stimulus check. Walmart's earnings were quite up. That's what happens when people get stimulus. They go spend it. That's the concept of stimulus. So it's good to do Build Back Better Act. The negotiations are underway. They're trying to get it done. Vote in May. Get the check out by the summer, and then you would get $15,000 to $80,000 of additional checks on top of the 4 stimulus checks that are in every U.S. state. The President of the United States, meantime, has done other types of stimulus that are so overlapped at the same time. And what are those other stimulus he's doing at the same time that are overlapping? In addition to the 4 stimulus checks he has sent out, which I'm going to go over in a second, which are in every U.S. state, he has also forgiven some student loan debt. That is, in essence, a version of stimulus. We call it on this channel 7 stimulus. Which debts has he forgiven, and how do you learn if your debts are forgiven? Great question. I had someone ask me in the live chat right now. First, let's go over the debts that he has forgiven and what he's done with other debts. If you became disabled after graduation, forgiven. Went to work in the nonprofit or public sector, forgiven. Your debt was procured by fraud committed by your university against you, now forgiven. And if your debts were in default, now put into good standing. Likely to forgive more debt? Yes. Not $50,000? No, but potentially $10,000. How do you learn if your debts are forgiven? That was a great question someone asked me in the Evenings LALATE show last night. Step 1, you want to go to the Department of Education's website. It's a .gov website. Step 2, you want to go to its press releases. Go under its press releases. Read anything Miguel Cardona has said about about student loan debt forgiveness. Because I can't cover every announcement of every debt that's forgiven, but I need you to go in there. Number 3, write down the following words and research them. Because what they're doing is they're taking the statutes for student loan debt forgiveness and making more of you qualify for the debt to be forgiven without passing a law. The words I want you to write down are IDR credit. Then I want you to write down Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. If you need to hear these words, you can always replay the video or pull it back and replay that last 3 minutes. And then I want you to write down income-based repayment programs. They're trying to take these languages and modify them across the board. The great news as we go into mid-May is that a forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. A forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. And the second half of this video, I'm going to go over this check with you. Launched in March 2020, this channel has gotten more Americans more money as a financial news channel than any place in the United States. Over $35 million, approaching now $50 million. We've done it through many different instruments, whether it was EIDL or EIDL grant, PUA or FPUC, whether it was PPP or third stimulus. And now it's fourth stimulus. And millions of dollars have been paid out to viewers of this channel. I hope you are the next. How do you do this? Step 1, become a member. Go to the top of the chat and go under the video and get that membership signed up. Step 2, subscribe. And then step 3, there's a little bell at the front of this channel. Hit that bell to make sure notifications are set to all on. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over this incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You want to get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because it features in there that forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. And then I'll be going over some things I saw last night in the Evenings LA video, the comments from viewers, very interesting. My comments coming up on that. And I'll be jumping in the live chat. So if you have great sophisticated questions about these forced stimulus checks, get ready to ask them. The toast is toasted, the butter is butter, and the coffee is brewing. It's a great, beautiful day, and we're just getting started. It's a big broadcast. It's live. It's Santa Monica, California, and it's mornings. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as a big, bold, beautiful day of Mornings LA continues. But first, here's a little bit about the members community page.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now on a big Mornings LA from Santa Monica, California. We're live on air, and I'll be jumping in the live chat with you in just a second. Be ready to bring your great questions. One viewer asked during the commercial break, what about this stimulus? Of course, that is the SSI reform. They haven't done it yet, and that would come up next. Great question, but they need to swap that COLA for inflation right today. Become a member. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday. The link is at the top of the channel in the pinned comment. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Then make sure you subscribe. And third, make sure you have that alert button set to all and on. And with that, let's go into the great checks. Let's get some money. Are you excited? I'm really excited. Let's get some forced stimulus checks right now. A forced stimulus check is landed in every U.S. state. And the forced stimulus check has landed because, not Congress, but done by the president and the states. There is a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. And what are the checks? They are Check A, Check B, and Check C. It's a numbering system I created on this channel, not used somewhere else. Let's go over each of these incredible checks and how you get them starting right now. First, Check A is a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state that amounts to $6,500 to $12,000. Whoa! Whoa, I'm about to sweat. That's so expensive. That is a lot of money, LA. $6,500 to $12,000. Yes, these are monster forced stimulus checks. These are monster forced stimulus checks. This check A is $6,500 to $12,000. It's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's called the Weatherizing Grant Check. How do you get it? Number one, subscribe, then become a member. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system. Go into the membership newsletter and go down to Check A. There it is. When you see Check A, it describes a little bit more about it, like the income qualifications. Single individual, 75,000 less, you can get it. Married couple, 150,000 less, you can get it. And if you're on benefits, you can get it as well. Then it gives you the link. You go right in and apply. I'm actually giving you the link locked up and cleaned and set and put in a box with a bow on it, and sending it to you and your newsletter Monday through Friday. How simple is that? Let's go to Check B. Even easier. Whoa, look at this money. My goodness. $15,000 to $80,000 checks. Yes, my viewers have been getting these checks. Yes, my members have been getting these checks. Yes, you can get these checks as well. This is $66,000 to $80,000 of forced stimulus checks. This is called the homeowner's grant check, and the income qualification is the same. Single individual, 75,000 or less. Married couple, 150,000 or less. And if you're on benefits, you can get it as well. How do you get this check? Same process. Subscribe, become a member, then get that membership newsletter for members only, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system. Go down in that membership newsletter to Check B. There it is. Then at Check B, you apply. You click the link in the newsletter. It'll send you right into the nationwide website. You apply, and it'll send you to a map. You choose your state, and you apply, and you're done. There's a third check that's also in every U.S. state, and this is Check C. A forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state, and those forced stimulus checks that are in every U.S. state is Check A, Check B, and here we go, Check C. How do you get Check C? First, how much is it? It's $24,000 to as much as almost $200,000. It's really third stimulus money, but I call it forced stimulus for purposes of simplification in this channel. And I've been covering it for over a year, so no one knows better how to get this Check C than me and you. I've gotten viewers millions and millions of dollars from Check C. So how do you get that Check C? First, become a member. Then go into that newsletter. Go down to Check C. At Check C, it is for people like renters and also homeowners. And Check C, you're not going to go online to apply in the newsletter. No, it's going to tell you where to call, what to say, how to say it. It's going to tell you about 15 places to call. You make the call to all 15. You don't make the call to one and stop. And you say the key words, and you get those incredible sums of money. Those are the forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Check A, Check B, and Check C are the forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. They will run out because they've been law now, you see, for a while. They are forced stimulus checks now in every U.S. state. Let's go to Check D. Not in every U.S. state. Not in every U.S. state. But it's averaging about $2,000 across the board. How do you learn about Check D? Check D is an automatic check that basically just lands in the mailbox. How do you learn about which states are doing what? All in the membership newsletter. Membership newsletter has a whole section dedicated just to Check Ds. It's so long, there's actually a link in that membership newsletter to a longer list. And there you go. So simple, so easy, so breezy. Now let me go over some things that I saw in the live chat last night. And we're going to go over them step 1, step 2, step 3, starting right now. First, when doing Check C, you got to do it exactly like I say. And I have known, because I've been covering Check C, which had other names on this channel over the last year or two, I know that people get off of script, they get off of book, they get off of what I say, and they do a version of it. Maybe because they think a version of it works, maybe because they're not being very specific. I got to tell you, don't do a version. Don't do a version. Because when you do a version, the person on the other side will be averted to you. They'll have an aversion to you when you do a version. Let's say, for example, here's an example. I say in the membership newsletter, you pick up the phone and you say rent, if it's rent, rent assistance because of COVID. Let's say someone does not follow that instruction, says, I'm calling up to get some check C. Excuse me? I'm calling up to get check C, that thing LALATE talks about with the purple shirt. Who's LA? What's the purple shirt? I don't understand what you're talking about, man. Don't go off of script. I appreciate you think that everyone knows me, but they don't. Some people just don't. So don't use my name, and don't use check C, and don't use different language. Use exactly what's in the membership newsletter. Next, you got to do the magnitude, the scope of the work, which is described in the newsletter. So when we're talking about check C, and I say you're making 15 phone calls, you're making 15 phone calls. You're not making one. Last night, it was, I believe, the evening show, and I believe Ann was actually in there interacting with this viewer, and I was as well. The viewer was in North Texas, North Nevada. My mistake. North Nevada, and the viewer started by saying, "There is no money in North Nevada." Of course, you know what I said. There's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Then the viewer said, "Well, they don't have a lot of money for check C," and I said, "Who did you call?" And we asked, where did she call? She said, I contacted the county that the person lived in. I contacted the county, and they said there's no more money left. And this was a member. And I thought to myself, why is the member only reaching out to the county? It's all detailed in the membership newsletter. In the membership newsletter, I tell you 9 government places to reach out to and 7 nonprofits on top of that. I tell you 15 places to call. And when she called up one and got no money, she had gotten other monies in other places. But for this issue, which I think was utilities, she called up and they said they're out of money. She stopped. Why did you stop, honey? I have in the newsletter the 15 places you reach out to. You reached out to one and you stopped. You got to follow the newsletter very specific. It's not just, thrown together words. This is months and months of research, hours and hours every day for you to do it exactly the way it's done. It's sort of like, you get a manual delivered to you on how to fix the Mercedes. And then you're like, oh, I'll just go buy the generic version of the manual. Then when you fix the car, it comes out looking like a Yuga. Yeah, you use the manual that comes with the car, not the generic manual. That's not going to be accurate. You're like, why does my car just sort of look different now? Because you didn't follow the instructions. All right, now let's go into check A and check B. Last night was one of those nights that we had members and we had non-members that were saying crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Now, I'm not surprised that sometimes non-members say crazy stuff, but members, no excuse. No excuse. And let me tell you what I saw, what I heard, what my reaction is, and where we're going, because I got to make this very clear to you right now. First, one viewer who was a member said the following thing. New Jersey has no forced stimulus checks. So, of course, what I started with was what anyone will start with, which is LA 101. A forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. I tagged the person in the live chat. I said, sir, a forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. You're a member. You know this. A forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. And then the viewer said, not in New Jersey. I said, yeah, there is. Check A is in New Jersey. Check B is in New Jersey. Check C is in New Jersey. Following me so far in what this viewer is saying, first says there's nothing in New Jersey. Then I specifically say there's a forced stimulus check in New Jersey. I do it broadly. Says no, he's a member. And then I say, yeah, check A is in New Jersey. Check B is in New Jersey. Check C is in New Jersey. Guess what the member then says? Member says, oh, I was talking about check D. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You first said there was nothing. Then I told you A, B, and C are there. And then you're like, I don't want A, B, and C. I want D. Notice how this is not good. It's mentally not good. It's financially not good. And it's playing games. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's playing games. The viewer clearly knew he wanted check D and started by saying there's nothing in his entire state. Well, you want to check D. Just say you want check D and that you don't want A, B, and C. I don't know why you wouldn't, but that's what the viewer was going after. The viewer didn't say anything specifically about A or B or C, just said nothing in the entire state. A member who gets the membership newsletter. Now, After I said to the member that there's a check A, there's a check B, and there's a check C in the state, the member said, yeah, you're right. There is a check A, B, and C in New Jersey. So what did the viewer members say? If you're on the live chat right now, if you're in the live chat and you can sort of go on this crazy mindset trip with me and think out, what would the member have then said if this is wacky? If I've just now identified check A, B, and C in the state of New Jersey and every U.S. state, what would be the wacky response that the member would then say? Let me jump in the live chat and see if anyone can predict how wacky this got. Because I got to tell you, it's not just him. I'm seeing it a lot, and it's got to really stop. And what one person really almost got it. Yeah, the person said the person then defaulted to check D. The person then defaulted to check D. After saying there's nothing in New Jersey, then when I say, yeah, there's a check in every state, then saying, well, I don't want A, B, and C or whatever he said. Then he said, I want check D. There's no check D in New Jersey. A member with the membership newsletter, Monday through Friday, saying there's no checks in the state, wrong. Saying that there's no A, B, and C, wrong. Then saying I don't want A, B, and C, I only want D, but D's not in my state of New Jersey. Wrong. Also wrong. In the membership newsletter, you go right into the membership newsletter, you go to check D, and I feature in check D that New Jersey has already sent out a check D in New Jersey. Now, I can't help people to read. If people just don't want to read, they don't want to read. But I got to tell you, you're acting stupid. These types of things need to stop. This is stupidity at its worst level. Here's a guy who is here in Los Angeles, who's taking his time and effort to put together for you where the checks are in your state. Separated them out, told you where to get them, how to get them. And literally, people are not even reading what I'm writing. They're literally not even reading what I'm writing. And they, in this case, the New Jersey check of check D was, I think it was $700, $700 or $500. So that was $500, $700. I guess he makes a lot of money. Just leave $500, $700 on the table. I guess he could leave that $80,000 for check B on the table. Now, let me go into the next example that I saw last night. And I got to tell you, it gives you whiplash. There was a non-member in the live chat. And then there was also a member in the live chat. And I was on air. The video was playing. And I said a fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. And one person said, what about Michigan? I said a fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. What about Ohio? I said, is this a trick question? Is this a trick question? Last time I checked, Ohio is in the United States. Last time I checked, Michigan is in the United States. Is there a fourth stimulus check in Florida? Well, many of us think that Florida should be left out of the United States. But at the moment, Florida is still part of the United States. And yes, there's a fourth stimulus check in Florida. What's going on here? You know, the graphic says a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. The announcer says a fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. And then people coming back and saying, but what about my state? I just said every state. The word every is on the graphic here. You see the word every? Every is not a version of the word every. It means every. It means every. I think people, maybe they talk differently in different parts of the country. When I say every, and I say now, I mean now, and I mean every. It doesn't mean sorta, or approximately, or at a later date. I mean now, every. Let me go into the live chat and interact with you right now and see what you're thinking about this, because it's just causing me a little bit. People are laughing. Yeah, it's laughing, but it's at one point it gets a little bit exhausting. Juliet says every state has their own eligibility. Absolutely. And I don't qualify for any of them. Juliet, you do. If you're a renter or a homeowner, you qualify for A, B, or C. Let me go over something else, finally. You know, the reason why I led with all that economic data early in this video is I gotta put some fire under your feet. There's a bad economic situation coming on the horizon. And we're moving along. We're moving along. I'm telling you what's going on with the recession coming, with the stagflation coming, with the inflationary pressures still at issue, with the oil and gas going up higher. I'm educating you, and some of you are coming along with the ride for me. The rest of some of you, the other ones of you, are really leaving yourself back in Sillyville. Sillyville. I can't, if you're going to spend your time asking, is it in Ohio, is it in Texas, is it Florida, is it in Michigan, is it, repeat actually every state back to me when I say it's in every state, I'm just going to leave you behind. And I'm going to instruct Dragon, I'm going to instruct Crayola, I'm going to instruct other volunteers. We're leaving you behind. If you cannot grasp very simple things, it's time to move on. I'm not here to repeat things indefinitely. I'm here to help people with sophisticated questions, like that person says, I'm having problems with eligibility, some applications. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here for very, very basic stuff, like, is Michigan a state? Like, what time zone am I in? I do include that in some videos, but it's like, we are beyond that, folks. We are heading to another level. And so I need you to get ramped up, because LA's going on up, and I need you to come with me. We're developing a lot of new shows on this channel that'll increase your information, that'll increase your wallet, that'll give you more money, and I can't have you sitting back and repeating silliness on a regular basis, like what about my state, when it's all in the membership newsletter. And I will not allow people to sort of take the narrative and run their other direction with it. And what is the best example against that? Nisi. Nisi was in the live chat last night, and God bless her, it was her birthday last night. And Nisi has now, I think, gotten upwards of about $50,000 to $60,000 from this channel in the last year. How has she done it? Listening. She keeps on going in the live chat, saying, people, if you listen, you get the money. If you do what he says, you get the money. If you listen and do what he says, you get the money. She's not a member. She's just a really good listener. She's a really good listener, and she continually gets money. Last night she revealed she got another $10,000. How? Listening. Money is money. And when you can get a lot of it, then get it. That's my job, to get you lots of money. And I'm so excited you're here, because guess what? We got more shows later today. Coming up is noontime at 11 a.m. A brand new Afternoons LATE at 3 o'clock, and then a brand new Evenings LATE at 5 o'clock. We'll be looking at what's going on with crypto more in detail tonight on Evenings LATE, because, of course, crypto is still trading today. And we'll be looking over the horizon of what to expect as we go into a new week. With that, I want you to become a member. Go under this video, because you deserve these incredible checks. Remember, this newsletter puts all these incredible checks together for you in a simplified form. A, B, and C. A, $6,500 to $12,000. B, $15,000 to $80,000. C, upwards of $150,000. You deserve this type of money. This is the channel with one of the fastest growing memberships in the United States. The only broadcast financial news channel that helps you get you money. The only broadcast financial news channel that has a newsletter that shows you how to get the money. The only broadcast news channel that gives you the predictions, the analysis, the recap of the markets, and also shows you how to get you money. I love you to death, and I hope you had a beautiful breakfast, and I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll be throughout the day with brand new shows. And with that, stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day. Stay here and stay always with LATE for more, as the continuation continues throughout the day on LATE.